High in the mountains of southern China, a ribbon of steel floats above the clouds. It stretches across a gorge so deep it could swallow a skyscraper. This is the Beipanjiang Bridge, the highest bridge deck on Earth, nearly 2,000 feet above the river. It defies gravity, weather, and imagination. But behind its beauty lies an untold story. A story of human ambition, a story of innovation and risk, and a story of how one bridge changed the future of an entire region. Guizhou Province, once called the land of 1,000 mountains and no flat roads. A place of towering cliffs, misty valleys, and roaring rivers. For centuries, its people were isolated. Journeys that should take minutes took hours, even days. Bridges were not a luxury, they were a necessity. China's love of bridges goes back thousands of years. Ancient suspension bridges of bamboo and rope once dangled above these valleys. Stone arch bridges, like the Guizhou Bridge from the 7th century, showed early Chinese genius. Fast forward to the 21st century, and China has become the undisputed bridge capital of the world. Where Europe built cathedrals and America built skyscrapers, China builds bridges. Why does China dominate the list of the world's highest bridges? 3 reasons. Geography. Deep valleys demand tall spans. Development drive. The government invested billions to connect poor, mountainous regions. Prestige. Each bridge is a showcase of engineering power. By 2020, Guizhou alone had more than 250 high bridges over 100 meters, more than the rest of the world combined. The Beipanjiang Bridge project began with a simple goal: connect Guizhou to Yunnan. But the gorge was nearly 600 meters deep. Building across it seemed impossible. In 2011, Chinese engineers began research. By 2013, construction began. And in just 3 years, they turned the impossible into reality. Cost: 1.023 billion yuan, 147 million USD. Value: immeasurable. The challenges were enormous. Caves and cracks in mountainsides forced designers to raise foundations higher. Powerful winds whipped through the gorge, threatening stability. Remote location made transporting steel beams an engineering project in itself. Solutions: cable stayed design with a steel truss deck, 269-meter towers anchoring 1,341 meters of roadway, precision cables that flex with the wind instead of breaking. By 2016, the Beipanjiang Bridge was complete. When it opened, the bridge was declared the highest bridge deck in the world, a Guinness World Record holder in 2018. To imagine its scale, higher than New York's One World Trade Center, taller than the Eiffel Tower beneath its deck, nearly 9 Golden Gate bridges stacked end to end. Before the bridge, crossing the valley took 3 to 5 hours. Now, 5 minutes. Before, selling my vegetables meant an all-day walk. Now, I can reach the city before noon. The bridge gave me time to study. My school is no longer far away. Tourism exploded. Trade boomed. Villages once forgotten became accessible. The bridge was more than concrete and steel. It was opportunity. But behind the structure were thousands of workers. Welders dangling hundreds of meters in the air. Engineers living on site for months at a time. Families separated during years of construction. We worked in fog so thick, sometimes you couldn't see the cable in front of you. But we knew this bridge would change lives. Projects of this scale always raise questions. What impact does blasting mountains have on ecosystems? How do engineers protect rivers from pollution? And most importantly, can such tall structures withstand earthquakes, storms, and decades of stress? For Beipanjiang, the answer lies in design for resilience. Flexible cables for wind, earthquake-resistant towers, continuous monitoring with drones and sensors. How does Beipanjiang compare globally? France's Miao Viaduct, tallest towers but lower deck. USA's Royal Gorge Bridge, once the highest, now far behind. Japan's Akashi Kaikyo, longest suspension span, but not as high. No country has built as many high bridges as China, and no other country is even close. China isn't stopping. Future giants include Qingshui Bridge, New Yangtze crossings, even taller bridges already on the drawing board. If Beipanjiang loses its title, it will be to another Chinese creation. The Beipanjiang Bridge is more than the world's highest bridge. It's a road through the clouds, a symbol of human daring, a monument to the idea that no valley is too deep, no dream too high. 5 years, 10 years, or 50 years from now, it may no longer hold the record, but it will always be remembered as the bridge that turned isolation into connection and mountains into pathways. The Beipanjiang Bridge, one of humanity's greatest creations.